Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Bean and today we are calling me out on a lot of things. The main thing that we're calling me out on is the fact that I do not finish books that I've started. So today I'm actually going to go through all of the books that I am currently reading. And it's not pretty. It's not a good amount. It's... Excuse you. It's not good. It's kind of bad. But these books go back all the way to before we moved, so the beginning of the year? I don't know exact dates or anything like that, but mostly because I didn't look them up. But we're just gonna hop into them now. If you hear loud noises that sound like things breaking, John would like everyone to know that he is doing a bonfire right now. He's breaking down a bunch of boxes that we have still from moving in April and May, and he's burning a lot of them because a lot of them they've been like mouse eaten and stuff like that, bug eaten, so yes. But on to the books. The first book I'm gonna share with you here is one that I started reading a couple months ago. It popped up for my for one of my TBR prompts, and that's a book in a foreign language. And I was going to read El Sobrino del Mago by C.S. Lewis, de las Crónicas de Narnia. And I got I think I got 50 pages in to this book. I was actually reading it kind of with John a little bit, only to realize that this is not in the Spanish that he knows. He knows Mexican Spanish. Or we speak Mexican Spanish for the most part in the household. This is, I believe, Spain Spanish, which is fine. I actually grew up learning Spain Spanish from school for the most part. But I don't speak it anymore. I was never very good at reading it, so this is good practice. And for the first, chapters, someone else annotated this book. So that was very fun and interesting. But I also haven't reread this series in a very long time. So I might be switching away from this one and to Harry Potter instead, because I think I might have a better chance of understanding that one just because I know the story a lot better than this one. But there are still pictures and stuff in this one, so it's a lot like the US version, or the English version, but it is definitely different. So I'm still reading this technically. We'll see, I may end up just not. Next, I am 143 pages into Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. I was enjoying this book while I was reading it. It's cozy fantasy. It's a little bit more fantasy than cozy. You can see the flames on the side of my face. It's a little bit more of the fantasy than I was expecting. It's a lot less D&D-esque, I guess. This is about a couple who have run away basically from their servitude to the queen. The one main character was the head of the guard for the queen and hated what she was doing, so she ran away, met up with her girlfriend who's the top sorceress in the world, and they decided to open a tea and bookshop, which sounds adorable. Right now, where I'm at, they're still building the shop, and they're dealing with some other things, like how to be a couple when they've never actually done it in public before. They've never been a couple in public before, so they're still figuring things out, but so far it's not bad. It's interesting. I don't know, I guess I just I don't want to say I got bored, because I didn't really get bored, but I did get a little bored. I don't know. I think it's a little bit longer than I expected it to be, so yes. The next book is one that I started back on our way home from a Polycon, and that is Magical Midlife Madness by K.F. Breen, I think. I am actually 100 pages into this book, and I was enjoying it when I realized that it was werewolf romance, which is fine. I just didn't realize that at first for some reason. I have talked about this book before. I was really enjoying it. It is a long series. I have since learned that it's a very slow burn romance, as in I don't think the romance actually gets started until book 3 or 4. And for romance, I don't know. We'll see if I what I think of that one. I'm not sure. I will probably finish this book. I really liked the main character, and I thought some of the things that she did were very interesting, and I am curious about this world as well. Next is one that I am really ashamed that I haven't finished yet. Actually, all of these are ones I'm ashamed I haven't finished yet, let's be honest here. And that is We Could Be So Good by Cat Sebastian. This is a male-male romance that is advertised as Colleen Hoover meets the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo with Newsies. And honestly, that's kind of exactly what it is. At least what I've read in the first 117 pages. I'm finding a trend as to how far I'm getting into a lot of these books. About 100 pages is usually my mark, where then I put it down and I'm like, alright, next one. And I don't know why that is, but it is apparently. This was an ARC I got at a Polycon. I started it came out in June, so I started at the beginning of June. I was really enjoying it. I could not stop talking about this, and I just never finished it. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Hi, kitty. Come here. No? Okay. You hear meowing, it's Lana. I also started, very, very briefly, started the audiobook for The Sleepless by Victor Manibo. I got like 3 or 4 chapters into this book, and I was really enjoying it because it was unique, it was different, and it wasn't what I had expected. And I was curious about where it was going, not to mention it's also a book box book, so it's one that I want to read in general. But again, I just didn't keep going. I also started The Escape Room by Megan Golden. I got 55 pages into this book. It's not what I expected it to be. There's a lot less of the escape room aspect to it than I was thinking there was going to be. Which is fine, but I do want to actually get in and try and get more into this book at some point. I don't think I'll have to restart it because I do remember most of what happened, but I have a feeling as to where this is going, and I'm a little nervous about that, I'm not gonna lie. Next book I have been reading for quite some time is The Book of Dragons. This is an anthology of short stories about dragons, and I read like the first 2. Yeah, I'm on page 50. I read the first 2. I think. They were really good. I was really enjoying them, and I was planning on reading one every night. Unfortunately, I started it in the middle of the semester, and I didn't have time to read a short story every night, unfortunately. Last semester, I kind of got really messed up trying to do school full-time and work full-time and do YouTube. It was just a lot. I got really overwhelmed. I got kind of depressed. It got messy. The reading kind of took a back burner, unfortunately. I did also start my reread of The Name of the Wind. I think at the beginning of the year. I got halfway through and then I stopped listening to it and got distracted by other audiobooks, including some of the other ones I'm going to share with you. I really like this book. This, again, like I said, it's a reread. I also started Finley Donovan is Killing It by Ellie Cosimano. I got 66 pages into this book. I was enjoying it. It's different. It's unique. I'm curious what happens. I think I got a little annoyed with the fact that Finley Donovan just kept having the shit luck, like the worst luck of anything all the time, continuously, consistently. And I think I got a little tired of that, I'm not gonna lie. So I think that kind of put me off this book a little bit, and I did put it down and didn't pick it up again. What else have we got, you ask? Oh, I'm sure. So glad you did. I am currently, I don't know, like 100 pages into The Opportunist by Elise Friedman. This is a book I picked up on a whim from my library. I'm really enjoying it. I have a good idea as to where it's going, and I'm so excited to read it, and I just haven't. So I think I would really like to sit down and actually finish this book really soon, because again, like I said, this is a short book. It's under 300 pages. I should be able to finish this in like an afternoon, so yes. It is also very well loved from my library, so yes. I would like to get this one back into the system. One audiobook that has just kind of been sitting lately is Shortfall by Robert Jackson Bennett. I finished Foundry Side, which is the first book in this series, not terribly long ago, maybe two months ago, and then I started this one the next month, and I loved it. I loved the first one. It was my second time reading the first one. I finally started the second one, which I pre-ordered the second and third books in this series because I loved the first one so much. I am 50 pages into this book. I'm sensing a trend. Either 50 or 100 pages seems to be where I get in these books. This is a great series. I'm really enjoying it. I put it down and I just haven't been in the mood for audiobooks apparently. I don't know. If you've been watching my other channel, you will have seen I just picked up Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Where is it? And I am 57 pages into this book. I am enjoying it. This is my first time reading Vicious. Yes, I know I'm a little bit behind on the times here, but I am enjoying it so far. Like I said, I'm 56 pages into this book. It is like almost 400 pages long, so it'll be a while before I have actual thoughts on it. But I picked it up on Sunday, and I haven't picked it up since, and it is now Saturday. Oops. And then the last physical one that I've started, I just started The Couple's Trip by Ulf Venstler. This is a new release thriller that I picked up from the library. This is a translated book. It's translated from Swedish. And honestly, I'm moving through this one very quickly. I'm on page 50 again. But this one I have been reading consistently. So this one I think I'll probably finish this one pretty soon. But I did technically start it, so this is part of the list. Now I can't stop there, unfortunately. As much as I would love to, I really can't stop there because I have other books that I've been reading. And those mostly are ebooks. So let's go through the ebooks that I am currently reading, shall we? The first and most prominent one, I suppose, I should talk about is The Nurse by Valerie Keogh. I have been talking about this one for quite some time, especially in my vlogs and my other channel, because I've been reading this one for probably 3 or 4 weeks. It's a thriller about a psychopathic nurse, basically. It's very interesting. I am 45% of the way through this book, and I am enjoying myself so far. It's weird. I'm not exactly sure what direction it's going in, but I'm curious to see where it heads. I have an idea, but cannot yet confirm that idea. I'm also in the process of reading a series of short stories that's basically like one of these books, except for the one that I'm reading is Asian Ghost Short Stories. So it's about this big, and this is what the cover kind of looks like. But it's the Asian Ghost Stories. This is just the Scottish folk and fairy tales. So it's not the same book, but that's what it looks like. That's what it's that size. And it's honestly just taking me a really, really long time to get through this one. I'm currently 28% of the way through this book, and I've been reading it for months. Honestly, it's good, but the stories are really weirdly written, and it makes it hard for me to read it fast, especially in ebook format. And then the last book that I have technically started, and I'm in the process of reading, is Sir Harward and Mr Fitz by Garth Nix. This is a series of short stories, again, by Garth Nix, about 2 characters, a knight and a necromancer puppet. It's interesting so far. I've just started the first story, really. I'm probably... Oh, I didn't actually check how far into this book am I. I'm not very far into this one. This was a review book that was sent to me. I am 11% of the way through this book. So, yes. I have also started the audiobook for Be My Ghost by Carol J. Perry. This is a cozy mystery of sorts that involves a person. She inherited an inn and there's a dead body on it, like her first day. I am 27% of the way through that book. I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. It's fun, it's unique, it's different. I also have started Briar Dark by S.A. Harrion. Okay, so there's actually a thing with this book, is I am 38% of the way through this book, but I have actually stopped reading it. It's a soft DNF for now because I heard it's a really tough cliffhanger ending. And the next book, I don't know that we have a release date for the next one, so I'm waiting for the next book to come out before I read this one, because I'm not the biggest fan of horror series with cliffhanger endings and no follow-up. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not the biggest fan of how they're showing mental health in this one, which I know is part of the point. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me in this one, honestly. It's not my favorite thing so far, but I do enjoy the setting of this story. I enjoy the generalized concept of it. I don't like the characters, I think is part of my problem. I'm not a big fan of any of the characters in this book, which is why I haven't continued with it. So we'll see. This one's an if on whether or not I actually continue it. So that's what, 18 books, I believe, that I have started, that I'm in the process of reading. I might do a video like this every once in a while if this does help to get me to either DNF books or to continue and finish them. I might just do this video every once in a while to remind myself that I have a bunch of books I really need to read and finish. Because I do think I lose kind of sight of that every once in a while, because not all of them, especially if I'm really early on in them, I don't put them all into any sort of reading platform, so I remember it. So yeah, I have some bad habits when it comes to that. I know that, I acknowledge it. Is what it is. So yes, I hope you enjoyed calling me out on my lack of ability to finish books. Yeah, I deserve that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, now is the perfect time. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading. Bye.